Hey, how's it going? Adrienne Elise here. I just wanted to pop in and talk to you about what's going on in the stars and the planets. We have had a big shift of energy with Mars retrograde. We've had since the end of June, 2 full months, this Mars retrograde, and it started at 9 degrees Aquarius, and now Mars has retrograded back into Capricorn. So this is bringing an energy. We've still got Mercury retrograde for a few more days, but this Mars going back into Capricorn, it just feels like we're going back into some deep patterns of wherever in past lives or this life we've given our power away, wherever we've bought into the fact that our work will never pay off, or the light that we've brought again and again to Earth and have gotten killed or persecuted for will never succeed. And it's just this feeling that there's this overwhelming sense of authoritarian energy out there that will not allow us to shine and be who we are. Now we're really feeling that with the sun still in Leo and Mercury retrograde in Leo. What is in the way of shining our light, of being who we are? And Mars retrograding back into Capricorn is telling us it's where we've bought into these belief systems that there's some force out there that's stronger than light, when actually light is what we all come from. And so here we are facing our deepest shadow energies around whether or not we can be who we really are, and whether or not we're safe here on planet Earth, and whether or not ultimately we can succeed in our mission or our journey. So it feels like, we're just coming up against these forces. We're just going back to a lot of places in our life where we felt limited or restricted, or forces working against us, or sabotage. And it just is kind of bringing up everywhere that we've given our power away and bought into the story that some sort of force or power outside of ourselves is stronger than who we really are in our true self. And this is across the board getting challenged in our whole reality. A lot of light workers right now are really exhausted because it's like the final battle on the astral plane between the forces of dark and light, between the control energies on the planet, and moving into a new reality. We know we've already won. We can see and feel that we came here in this lifetime to succeed, despite all of what we've gone through in past lives. But right now, it feels like it's a battle we can never win. And so sit tight and know that your light here, your living and breathing and experiencing this reality, is the most powerful gift you can give to this universe and to this life right now. And it has not gone unnoticed. Part of the control energies paradigm and agenda is to keep us in this kind of false mechanical paradigm that's completely cut off from the spirit, the hope, the energy that comes in when we feel like we're held and loved as beings, as a part of something greater. The goddess, the God, the creator, your higher self, whatever words work for you. It's about cutting us off from that and tricking us into thinking that we're all alone and that we don't have any help or support. And this is how it feels for a lot of people right now. Just it's like you're off alone fighting some battle you have no idea what's going on, understanding in your sleep, and you're on the astral plane and exhausted, and just this feeling of like you could never win against whatever unseen enemy or force that might be out there working against you. And yet that's the biggest lie and the biggest illusion. And you as a light worker are actually here. Of course, you're going to feel this the most because you've been the most targeted over lifetimes for bringing light, for bringing harmony, for bringing solutions to this planet and trying to move it into another place. But on the other hand, it's up to you to be the example that the reason why you might feel so beaten down right now is because actually that can validate that little light inside of you that is the big light in the world and the cosmos, and that you know without a doubt that there's so much more than what we're experiencing here. And so this is coming home right now. All of these lies are coming home for us to face, and the shadow side of ourselves. Because you know what? Mercury is so we're we've been in this place of inaction now for about 2 months with this Mars retrograde. And a lot of people are finally getting used to this feeling that, okay, I'm just suspended here. I don't know what's going on. I can't see the future. I know the past isn't working. And I'm just kind of like, okay, here we go. And now we're actually going to start moving. So it's like we've been putting our focus on this inaction and our surrender and just letting things be as they are. And now the snowball happens. And are we ready for that? Are you ready to move forward? Because coming up here, and next week on the 19th, Mercury goes direct. And so we are getting ready to move. And then a week later, Mars goes direct. So we are moving out of this inaction, and all of the things that have been trying to work out on these other levels while we've been kind of stuck in between paradigms is landing home. And so it's like a shift of energy. And it's like, okay, now we're being dropped back into reality and we got to hit the ground running. And it's like, might feel like it's going to feel good to have this motion and this movement and to get out of the muck. But at the same time, it's kind of like that instability that comes with takeoff and landing, and, just feeling a little bit off, equilibrium off. This is because you're adjusting to the new you and the true you and your true timeline. But in order for that to occur, we have to face all of the false parts of our identity that we've been clinging to. This is taking the form in a lot of people right now. In like, I put my whole life towards this goal, and now I'm like, it's not really what I want, or it needs to be radically changed, or I want to start this whole other career. And just kind of recognizing that all the things we've clung to about who we are in this lifetime, we're in this family, and we're this male or female, and we have this role, and we have this job, and we're a mom, and we're this. And it's like, that's all up for review right now, and reevaluating and restructuring our reality closer to the truth of who we are, which we haven't really been able to access because of all of this astral war against the light that's gone on for thousands of years. And so we haven't been able to really bring in and incarnate on the planet the whole truth of who we are. And so we don't really know who we are, and we're kind of clueless. And now we're being asked to hit the ground running. So it's kind of like, I feel like when these planets start going direct, there's going to be a little bit of a chaos energy of like trying to stabilize in this new vibration, but it's also going to feel refreshing and like, oh gosh, we're finally going somewhere, right? So Mercury is getting ready to turn direct here, and we are getting ready to, here we go. It's time to move in to the new chapter. And we talked about how 2018 is the whole year of recalibration and adjustment. And so the fall of this year is, moving into the end of this year is where we're landing, coming in for landing, coming in for kind of adjusting, letting go of everything that doesn't fit who we really are. And so a lot of adjustments, a lot of forward motion, a lot of blessings trying to land for people. At the same time, we're getting really shown whether or not we feel like we deserve our light and our blessings and the abundance and support that's available to us to support us in our true work and our true essence of what we brought here. And so it's kind of like, you can get all the blessings you want, but if you don't feel like you deserve them, they're going to reject them, and a lot of people right now are like, I want this, I want this, I want love, I want that. And then when it shows up, they run. So you got to be ready for the new and ready to face the breakdown of what you thought in the old. So, maybe your shadow, or, we're all working with, on the collective, the shadow releasing, because guess what? Mercury is turning direct while it's in square with Jupiter. And so it's like spending the whole month in square with Jupiter, which is usually Mercury just moves really fast. It moves right over planets, and it's just kind of a quick little blip. But we're having a couple full weeks of Mercury squaring up with Jupiter, one of the only direct planets right now, full bore, moving through the sludge of Scorpio, revealing the shadow and what's been hidden from us and what we need to find. And the collective shadow is being revealed, but also within our individual self. And for light workers and indigo souls and crystal seeds, this is about, where have you bought into this programming that you don't deserve who you really are, that you don't deserve the blessings of this world? And, you know, can you sit there and complain about your life while you're not willing to address your core issues of self-worth so that those blessings can come in? And I'm telling you, the signs are all saying that this fall, the end of this year, is bringing in some powerful energies of like rewards in the physical world for work you've done over many lifetimes. And so it's time for us to be ready and clear out those skeletons of our closet. And sometimes it's hard, like the shadow stuff, and especially in our collective consciousness right now, in our political systems, and like this really scary stuff going out there in the world. And it's like, people don't even want to see how bad it is. I just rather stay in my illusion and not even face the truth, right? But we have got to face the truth in order to change. And so this is what's going on in our psyche as well, where we're being asked to face all of these places where we bought into some unworthiness or some deep soul transgression, when actually our true essence, just as an indigo soul, there's the definition of you is that you came into this realm with already a purified soul and astral body that you've worked on for many evolutions and many lifetimes. And it's time to claim that back. You've been told that your light, your gifts are a bad thing, and they're not. It's what our world needs so badly right now. And so it's just taking a whole rearranging. And when you're rearranging and you're coming into who you really are and letting go of everything you thought that you were going to do or what you stood for and all of that, it feels really uncomfortable. But it's the most healthy, beautiful thing that you can do for yourself and the planet right now. And so we've been asked to surrender to this inaction and to this being in between paradigms in this really strange summer of 2018. And now we're being asked to surrender to the changes that are coming that are healthier for us, but might feel kind of uncomfortable as they begin to shake down. And so here we go. So we've got that Mercury is turning retrograde. Is turning direct on the 19th. And then it kind of comes out of the square, just barely out of that square with Jupiter and right back into it. So very powerful messages from the universe here. With Mercury and the sun still in Leo, we're asking, Mercury wants to understand, it wants to get information, it wants to change our conceptual reality to fit reality. And so what's in the way of us shining our light and receiving our true self, receiving the gifts of who we are, receiving the blessings and the support of this place? It's like, then we have to face all of the delusions of our shadow, which might be where you believed, you bought into the fact that we're unsupported here and all alone. Maybe it's where you bought into you don't deserve to be who you are, or if you do embody the truth of who you are, it might hurt you or other people. This is all programming, and it's lies, and it's part of what's built up in our shadow. We think it's horrible things we've done from our past, but sometimes it's just about where we bought into the fact that that some bullshit lies that we bought into about who we are and who humanity is. And so our paradigm world keeps feeding us this horrible information about who we are, and that we're violent, and we hate each other, and we want to fight against each other, and we want to tear each other down, and it's just like, we're all one. And so if you want to tear down the other person over there that somehow has different beliefs than you do, sees things differently in the world, then that's really a projection of how you feel about yourself. So the shadow that's being really revealed right now is how humanity hates itself and can't respect itself. And that's not the true essence and the evolution and the potential of humanity. We are spiritual beings in an animal body, but we're evolving out of that, except we bought into a whole bunch of stories that have kept us for far too long in our animal nature. And it's not who we really are. And the information that's available to us right now is just lies, lies, lies about who we are and how we really feel and whether or not we're capable to see the other side and love each other through this crazy experiment that we're in. So just hold tight to the truth that's inside of you. It's all we have right now is just, and it's such an opportunity. This breakdown in our whole world is an opportunity to receive our truth light and our truth of true self and be that living, breathing example of something different, of the truth that's been totally manipulated to the just extreme degrees. But you know who you are deep inside. And that is your wealth. And that is what the world needs right now. And up and reaching beyond all of the programming, there's so much love and support and appreciation for what you're doing here by just being here and breathing and living and embodying a different idea about the truth of things, and that you know in your heart is true, because you know we've already won. And so this is the last battle. It's the shakedown. We got to clean up some messes. And that's what Jupiter is doing. And Mercury squaring up with Jupiter is just like, okay, this belief system stuff is what's in the way of you really shining and being in your true self and embodying that divine cosmic love, which is the truth of who you are. So we have some help with this, even though we're having this intense karmic dump. This is our last week of karmic dump, right? And so it's like, whoa, everything's so bubbling up to the surface, but we have this beautiful trine with Jupiter and Neptune helping us to expand into our true spiritual connection and go out beyond these stories and remember and know that we're held and loved and supported by the cosmos. And then we also have this Saturn trining up with Uranus. And this is like, hey, we can change this reality. Uranus is like the future and new ideas and innovation and revolution. And Saturn is the earth of what we're used to, the rules, the way we've always done it, and the physical manifested world. And it's like, okay, you guys, it's time to play. Like we can't keep this old structural paradigm as this energetic shift is happening, and it's catching up with us now. So really awesome energy around miracles to change your physical reality, miracles in helping change information, synchronicities to help change your idea of who you are, wherever you're stuck, especially in those Capricorn type of issues around whether or not you have permission to be who you really are, or whether or not you need some outside forces like a mean old God who's going to say, no, you don't get to, and it's like, we might totally not buy into that in our conscious reality, but most of us still live that out in our subconscious reality because we've just been so programmed over so many lifetimes. And that in essence was the Piscean age. And it's time, we got to move out of it. So here we go. And, so hang in there and be ready to hit the ground running, be ready to support yourself. By self-care, this is a great message to the universe that you're willing to face the shadowy aspects of yourself, of where you've been bought into that you don't deserve to the light of this world or the support or the love, and so it's like you can proclaim to the universe that you are ready and willing to honor your divine nature and the true light of your soul by self-care. So it's a really important time for radical self-care. And it might be really ungrounding as these planets begin to move forward in these next 2 weeks, but at the same time, it'll feel refreshing. And if you can just hold tight and remember to be in the present moment, so whatever practice of meditation or anything you do, just bring yourself back to the present moment, and then take really good care of yourself. Eat good food, drink plenty of water, rest, because there's this massive grand battle going on in the astral plane, and I'm sure you're a part of it. And so the more exhausted you've been feeling, the more you've been off doing all kinds of stuff, trying to heal and harmonize and help this situation. And it's a war zone out there. And so it's really important that we bring in this self-care and this honoring of the true self by having a practice of self-care and telling ourselves and the cosmos that humanity is willing to accept, receive, and honor their divine nature, starting with you. So thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to next time. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.